In my last video, I discussed two theories that coincide with each other. One was my own theory of where Boba Fett went while Din Djarin and crew were rescuing the child Grogu. The other was a theory of one of my viewers by the name of Arnold Andrada as to whether Boba Fett knew it was Luke Skywalker actually coming to the rescue. I'm going to expand on that idea a little more today on Star Wars Fanatic. Luke Skywalker is now a full Jedi Knight. The Emperor has been defeated, and only small pockets of the Empire remain. Luke is searching for more about his past, and decides to return to the place it all started, the moisture farm he called home. He hasn't been there in years, since just after he destroyed the first Death Star, and that was only for a moment. When he was last in this area, he was more interested in going back to Obi-Wan Kenobi's home to seek out whatever the old Jedi may have left behind. But this time, it was a personal errand. His Uncle Owen must have known about his father and the Jedi. That means he must have known other things too. When he arrives, the moisture farm is in disrepair, but mostly how he left it years ago. A little more sand, but it definitely doesn't feel like home anymore. As he searches what remains of his aunt and uncle's belongings, he does find one thing that belonged to his uncle's father. Written is the location of the hidden grave of Luke Skywalker's grandmother, Shmi Skywalker. He had no idea she was even buried there. He rushes outside and finds the hidden grave, or at least the location that was written. He kneels down in silence, sensing the Force to see what it could be saying to him. There had to be a reason he learned of this. As Boba Fett heals from his wounds given to him by the Sarlacc, he wanders around Tatooine with his tribe of Tusken Raiders. He is now healed enough that he can be mobile. However, he still needs some assistance with walking in the form of a cane. He and the tribe see the remains of the Lars homestead in the distance. He knows it to be abandoned, but someone is there, kneeling. Gathering his strength, he moves in closer stealthily, being sure not to be seen. He knows this place. He visited it on a mission for Darth Vader to find the young pilot that destroyed the Death Star years ago. As he gets closer, he and his new Tusken family crouch behind a dune. He recognizes the man kneeling in the sand. He last saw him as he tried to subdue him on Jabba the Hutt's desert skiff just a couple years prior. The events of that day are still fresh in Boba's memory. It's the same man he encountered at Obi-Wan Kenobi's hut. It's Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight. As Luke kneels in meditation, he feels a disturbance in the Force. Something familiar, a presence he knows, but this time it doesn't seem as it did before. There is less turmoil. He calls out, "Show yourself." Boba hesitates. He knows Luke is powerful from his last two interactions with him, and he is in no condition to fight a Jedi right now. Finally, he calls back, "A truce?" Luke agrees. Boba tells his Tuskens to move on and he will regroup with them later. He doesn't want to turn this situation volatile. Boba then appears from behind the dune. Luke is astonished to see a broken man. He can feel who he is, but has never seen him without his armor and mask. "Boba Fett?" Boba responds, "I am." Both agree that hostilities are not in order. It isn't a friendly meeting, but it is cordial, both keeping a slight distance as they talk. Luke asks how Boba survived, and he responds, "Sometimes fate steps in to save the wretched." All too familiar with this, Luke remembers his father's own redemption and keeps it in the forefront of his mind. The bounty hunter looks more tribal now than the methodic man he once encountered. More peaceful, yet sad. Boba, being the hunter he was, bred and trained to be, is still cautious. Both have a short conversation where the end result is Luke acknowledging that Boba had a job to do and a code to follow. When they last saw each other, that is. Boba doesn't ask for forgiveness, but rather acknowledges that maybe the path he was on was not the one that would turn out favorable for anyone. That his path was set to him as a child. He was to be this great Mandalorian leader, but a Jedi named Mace Windu stripped it of him. He tells that maybe it was partially his father's fault for getting involved with Count Dooku, but he believed his father was just trying to make his way through the universe after his self-imposed exile from Concord Dawn. Luke offers some advice. Make your own path. Make your own destiny. Don't be what you think others want you to be. Luke came to this location for answers about his family. What he got was more than that. Luke asks about the clone army, and Boba offers all he knows. My father was the template. I was a clone of him, as was the Grand Army of the Republic. He raised me as his son. We all make bad choices, but my father is my honor. Luke tells him that he knows what revenge is, that it is a dark path and will consume Boba fully if he lets it. Luke's words resonate with Boba. He has felt failure in his revenge on the Jedi. The two acknowledge this meeting is coming to a close. Luke tells Boba, "May the Force be with you." Boba responds, "I wish you well." When they meet again, it will be on better terms than the past. And they will meet again. It's fate. Okay, so I made this little story to go along with what my viewer Arnold Andrada had written in a comment on one of my other videos. It isn't exact, but he suggested that Luke and Boba had ran into each other prior to the events of The Mandalorian Season 2, The Rescue. This theory goes along with our theories that Boba lay in waiting as Din Djarin and company rescue the child Grogu from Moff Gideon. I theorized that he waited for a turn of events or a pickup, whichever came first, and he suggested that Luke and Boba had made amends to their past encounters. I don't mind if this never happens. Like any theory, it probably won't, but it is fun to fill in the gaps ourselves with little bits of headcanon. That's what makes Star Wars our own. But if something like this were to be explained, I think it would add so much depth to the season finale of The Mandalorian. Even if it doesn't, this theory makes it deeper for me. I hope you enjoyed it. What do you think? Is this theory plausible? We see that Boba has repainted his armor in a way to show he is a new man, both from his last failure at the Sarlacc and maybe some real talk from a Jedi named Luke Skywalker. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Trust me, I read them all, and I love interacting as much as I can. Soon, I will be deciding on a date to do my very first webcam stream for a general meet and greet and Star Wars conversation. Be sure to join me. And at this time, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the viewers that have really kept me engaged. Thank you for your support. DR Moran, Arnel Andrada, Zedpool, Contact with 2Ks, RKO Custom Figures, D-Boy Games, Boba Fett, and Banjo Fett. Thank you all so much. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for such an awesome audience and viewers as each and every one of you are. Everyone I missed, you will be getting a shout out soon, I promise. If you are new to the channel or just haven't made the decision yet, go on and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all of my Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and general Star Wars discussions and videos. Also, hit the like button to show your love and support for what I do here, and share the video with a friend. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, the only way.